Welcome back to Collect Disconnect. I'm your boy Guak 420, and this is the last episode of Collect Disconnect for the year of 2022. So happy New Year's, happy 2023. Hopefully this is a good video to get the year started. I am doing my mandatory 2022 wrap up of my favorite action figures of the year. I say mandatory because every single other YouTuber who's an action figure collector is doing this exact video. So I'm not going to be doing a top 10, top 20. I'm just going to be doing my favorite figures I picked up of 2022 in no particular order. So let's not waste any more time. And without further ado, let's get it cracking.
Oh, okay.
Alrighty guys, so I did gather up my top 15 figures of the year. And I just want to go ahead and get this guy out of the way. He is not part of the list. He's almost like a cheat code. If you guys own him, you know he is for sure your top 5, top 10. So this is Galactus. I have the Dr. Doom head representing him right now, just because he is in his collection and he's pretty hard to take down and actually set up for a video. So I'll be posting some older clips of my Galactus. But like I said, he is not part of the actual top 15 because he's obviously one of the best figures of the year for anybody. So he doesn't really count. But I just wanted to show you guys that real quick. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the actual list. And they're not in any particular order at all. But the last 2 of the 15 are actually my top 2 favorite of the year. But the rest of them can be in any order. I don't have like a least a favorite or anything like that. So let's get started. Starting off the list with an absolute banger, we have possibly my most favorite McFarlane release of the entire year. This is Asbat, aka John Paul, aka Azrael, and this is Azrael as Batman after Bane broke Batman's back in the Nightfall comic. And this is for sure one of my most favorite figures in this list right now. If I had a top 5 list, he would be in that for sure. And this is probably McFarlane's best work so far, and I can't wait to see what he brings in store for 2023. Alright, so following what I thought was the greatest DC Multiverse McFarlane figure of the year, we have, in my opinion, the greatest Marvel Legend of 2022, and that is, of course, this badass Renew Your Vows Spider-Man from the 2-pack with Spinneret. And, you know, just the toe articulation and the all pinless body alone makes this one of my top figures of the year. My number 1 for Marvel Legends, of course. And I mean, like, look at this pose right here. It's just so sick what you can do with this figure. And it being like a more affordable figure compared to like Mafex and Mezco. This thing is for sure, like I said on the previous figure, if I had a top 5, this guy would be in it as well. So yeah, there you go. Renew Your Vows Spider-Man coming in number 2. So of course I couldn't have a top 15 of the year without having the boys themselves. This is the NECA VHS Secret of the Ooze TMNT 4-pack. I did a video about this a couple weeks ago. You guys should check it out if you haven't. These guys are really cool. I do already have these 1990 Movie Turtles right here in my display, so these guys will be in box for the foreseeable future until I get another shelf or anything to display them on. But these guys were some of my favorite for sure of the year. They do count as one entry, even though there's 4 of them for my top 15. But I mean, you know, I had to throw these bad boys in here. Here we go once again. TMNT Soto VHS 4-pack. Alright, so next up we do have the animated series Retro Spider-Man that just got released from Walmart. I did lie earlier when I said the Renew Your Vows was my top favorite Spider-Man of the year. I do have a total of 3 in this top 15 list, and I think all 3 of them could be tied for first place for my favorite Spider-Man. So this is the animated one again. He does have a special place in my heart because I am a 90s kid, and the 1994 show was like my all-time favorite cartoon growing up, other than the Batman animated series. So I do actually really enjoy the cell shading just because, you know, I'm a big fan of the show. I know a lot of people hate it, but why else are you going to get an actual animated figure if you're not going to get the cell shading? So that's just my 2 cents, but he is a really solid figure. Also like to Renew Your Vows with the pinless technology going on. And overall, he's one of my favorite Spider-Mans of all time. So yeah, there's that. Alright, so Spider-Man and Batman are my 2 favorite superheroes of all time. So it's only right that I have these guys in the collection 3 times each. So for my second Batman in the top 15, we have the McFarlane DC Multiverse Arkham City Batman, of course. This dude is freaking sweet. One of the best Batman figures I have in my collection, if not the best. And he's actually in my Justice League display right now until I get the brand new Hush Batman coming out. But overall, I've always wanted a Arkham City or just an Arkham Batman in my collection. I miss out on the Arkham Knight Batman, but honestly, I do prefer this one. Has a more classic look, and like I said, he can fudge well into the actual Justice League display I have going on. But yeah, real quick, I mean, he was, of course, voiced by the late great Kevin Conroy, and so RIP to the legend himself. My next Batman is actually another incarnation of Kevin Conroy's iconic voice, so you guys will see that one next. But here we go. This is the Arkham City Batman once again, looking pretty good. Okay, so for my last Batman of my top 15 list, I did save the best for last. We have the greatest Batman of all time, the animated series Batman, voiced by Kevin Conroy himself. Once again, RIP to a legend, the best Batman of all time. This is the gold label exclusive signed by Bruce Timm, and I will be trying to find anything signed by Kevin Conroy just to display right here on this side, and just, you know, in memory of him and all the work he did. And this guy will be staying in box forever. I'll never sell this at all. And yeah, I mean, it sucks about everything that's happening. I do want to get more stuff in memory of Kevin Conroy. So once again, RIP to the legend, the greatest animated show, the greatest Batman show of all time. And yeah, he'll be permanently in my collection. Alright, so real quick, I do have 7 total Marvel Legends on this top 15 list. So that's basically half my list right there. And that doesn't mean like I prefer Marvel Legends over any other company in the list. I do have NECA and McFarlane figures in this list as well. And I am a huge Marvel fan first and foremost. But right now, with their increased prices and their constant repaints, I am preferring other companies like McFarlane. But for this year, they did release a couple bangers. Other than all the repaints, like this is a repaint, I believe as well. But I didn't have a really cool comic accurate Captain America. So other than that, they do have for sure a few diamonds in the rough. But like I said, the price increase is pretty crazy overall. I don't even want to know what the price is going to be for next year. But this is right here one of my favorite figures of the year. Well, I mean, all 15 of these are my favorite, obviously. But yeah, this guy is absolute fire. All the accessories he came with, freaking crazy. I know a lot of people had the complaints about the holes in the shield, as you can see right there. But I just keep this effect on him permanently, so he looks pretty badass in my Avengers collection. And pretty soon I will be doing a full complete Avengers show, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, here you guys go, Captain America. Alrighty, next up we do have my final Spider-Man of my top 15 list. We have the infamous symbiote suit Spider-Man, one of the greatest Marvel Legends of this year. And if you guys know me by now, you know I keep these retro cards mint unboxed, and I also do open one up for the collection. So here we have the symbiote suit posed up. He's actually hung up by some fish wires, so that's why I didn't bring him down to show you guys, but there he is in my Avengers collection, looking pretty cool. Those are some custom webs I made. And yeah, one of my favorite Marvel Legends of this year, for sure one of my favorite Spider-Man, and that's why he is in my top 15 list. Alright, so next up we do have my favorite release from NECA of this year. This is of course the Mummy Michelangelo, and just like check out the sculpt and the detail real quick on the show. All the details on every single NECA figure are just pretty mind-blowing. For the $35 price point, I think they're one of the greatest, most detailed figures you can get from retail stores like Target and Walmart. And just all the accessories they always come with, like this is a real metal chain, this freaking posable cobra. I never would have thought I'd have a freaking snake in my collection, but now I do. And yeah, he is fully posable with the bendy wire. So that's a cool addition. Like, they didn't have to throw that in, but NECA going above and beyond like always. And he did come with another head sculpt and some other pairs of hands. And he does have these Egyptian Ankh nunchucks, I believe is what they're called. Yes, nunchucks from Mikey. And real quick, this head sculpt, I popped on this one instead of the stock one. And I think this is kind of reminiscent of the 1990 movie Turtles actual costume. This is what the costumes look like when they deteriorate. So it's kind of funny having a mummy that's deteriorating look like the actual costume. So that was by itself the selling point of me grabbing this figure. So I thought that was pretty funny. And overall, like I said, this is my favorite NECA release of the year. And I do have the actual other Universal Monster movie figures from NECA as well. And one of those is actually going to make it on the top 15 list. So yeah, here you guys go. My favorite NECA figure of the year, Mummy Michelangelo. So even though I just opened this guy up a few minutes ago, I knew he was going to be in my top 15 list. And reason being is I knew he was a whole new unique sculpt. And for Marvel Legends, that's pretty rare and pretty crazy. So like I said, even though they did release a bunch of repaints and increase their prices a couple times, they did have a few of these really unique bangers, these diamonds in the rough right here, like this Herald of Galactus Thor. And overall, this guy is pretty sweet. The amount of accessories he came with is just crazy. I wish every Marvel Legends release came with that amount of accessories. The box was actually heavy as shit. And I got this guy for under retail as well from Target, so there's that. But just the overall design, like, I'm a sucker for black and red. And I didn't even notice the actual cape was black and red and purple. Just seeing that now on the camera. But this guy is honestly pretty crazy. One of my favorite Marvel Legends releases of this year. And since he is a Herald of Galactus, he will be going into my actual Galactus shelf. I will be making a Galactus display video in the future, so stay tuned for that as well. But yeah, here you guys have it. The Herald of Galactus Thor, looking pretty fucking badass. Next up, we do have this really badass looking Gladiator Superman from McFarlane DC Multiverse, of course. And just like the Thor previously, I did just open this guy up. And just having him in hand, posing him a bit, he instantly made it to the top 15 list of this year. So I don't know much about this guy at all. I believe he doesn't have his powers right now. He's like a gladiator fighting for his life on Battle World, I think it is. And yeah, he looks pretty cool overall. I am a sucker for the Roman aesthetic going on. I do wish I could get some more affordable like Roman or Greek soldiers like this. So this is pretty cool. Maybe one day have like an army building situation going on. But this guy is pretty sweet. For $20, you can't beat this or ask for anything more. The sculpt, the paint is on point. I really love this Superman chest plate emblem he has going on. And yeah, overall, one of my favorite McFarlane figures of the year. Top 15, of course. There you go. So it was pretty tough to pick my final NECA figure for my top 15 list of the year. And NECA did have a ton of really great figures that came out, from the Turtles to their monsters. And I picked this guy for sure, one of my favorites. This is the Universal Studios Wolfman from the movie. This is, of course, Lon Chaney in his werewolf form. One of my favorite horror movies of all time. If you guys haven't watched it, I recommend you guys check that out. It is in black and white, but it still holds up. I believe they actually have black and white versions of these figures as well. I was thinking about getting into them since they are kind of more accurate to the actual movie, but I don't really like having doubles of the exact same figure. I'm saying that as a Marvel Legends collector who gets nothing but repaints. But overall, this is a really solid NECA figure. I mean, you couldn't expect anything more from this company. They go above and beyond. Right now, I have him with the bear trap accessory from the scene where they're chasing him. And like I said, this guy is super sweet. The detail, the sculpt. I mean, NECA can't do any wrong. So yeah, there you guys go. So next up, we do have the biggest action figure in my top 15 list. This is the almighty nasty Mojo from the X-Men series, I believe. I only know him from the actual TV show. I don't know if he's in the comics and whatnot, but I remember those couple episodes the Mojo World arc, I believe it was, from the X-Men animated series, and he was pretty cool, pretty funny. He did come in a 3-pack as well, the Hasbro exclusive 3-pack, I believe, and they released this guy by himself. His paint is a little bit more different. I don't know if I prefer this one or the other one, but I can do some customizations on this for sure. All these wires back here look a little bland with just the one solid gray paint they have going on, so I might do some customs for sure, add some liver spots on his belly. But overall, this is a super sick figure. His belly is actually pretty squishy, so that's pretty funny. But each of his spider legs are actually articulated, which is pretty cool. Something I wish the Iron Spider did for his Waldos, having each notch be articulated. But overall, this guy is super sweet. One of my favorite Marvel Legends of the year, of course. He was a little bit more pricey, but I mean, it's Marvel Legends, what are you gonna do? So yeah, there's that right there. So finally, we did reach the final 2 of my top 15 of the year. When I opened them up, played with them, posed them, he instantly made the list, and he actually instantly made the top 2, so that's pretty funny. Like I said, he is like a mini Mafex figure with the soft goods. I've never owned a Mafex figure before, but seeing this guy in hand, I can see why you guys are so hyped about those. But for the price of those Mafex figures, I probably would never actually get one. This guy was on sale from Big Bad Toy Store for Black Friday or Cyber Monday, whichever it was, for about 30 bucks, I believe, after shipping. So I think he normally goes for like over 100, so I had to pick him up for that price. And this guy is super sweet. This is the Cyclops from the Beast Kingdom series, the Egg Attack series, I believe they have going on. So they're basically like Pops and Mafex combined. They have a whole line of these little minifigures, which are pretty cool. And for this particular figure, he actually has a light up effect going on. I'm gonna turn off the light real quick so you guys can see. Boom. He looks pretty badass in person. Let's see if I can actually show you guys a more forward view. I mean, like, look how freaking cool that is. I wish like any other Cyclops figures come with a light. I don't know any that do personally, but this guy is freaking sweet. This is his classic blue costume. I believe it was like one of his first appearances for Cyclops, so that's pretty badass. And I am a fan of the cloth goods, so that's one of the reasons why he's one of my top 2 of the year. So yeah, here you guys have it again, the Beast Kingdom Cyclops, looking pretty badass. He did come with a bunch of accessories as well. I'll probably show you guys that separately right now, but I mean, for the amount of accessories and for this discounted price, I mean, I couldn't pass him up, so that's why he's top 2 of the entire year for me. We finally reached the last figure of my top 15 of 2022 list. And first of all, thank you guys if you watched all the way to the end. And this is, of course, the Marvel Legends Daredevil from the recently released 3-pack with Elektra and Bullseye. And I know I said in the beginning that the Renew Your Vows Spider-Man was actually my favorite Marvel Legends of this year. But just posing this guy up for this video and playing around with him, he actually went from my top 15 to my top 2 to now my, I think, top 1. My top figure of 2022, and for sure my top Marvel Legend now. This guy's pretty sweet. I think the reason being is because I never had an actual classic red suit Daredevil in my collection. I've only ever had the yellow and red one from Walgreens years ago, and that one like frankly sucks. So this one is super freaking cool. It shares the exact same body as a Renew Your Vows, I believe. So it's pinless and it has the cool infamous toe joints right there. And my only gripe about this figure is these the actual rope for the batons. Right now, they're actually separate pieces, but I have them fudged up together where it looks like it's one piece. But if you see right here, it's actually like 2 pieces combined that I just twisted around. So I mean, actual bendable wires would have been sweet, but you know, Marvel Legends can't give you everything in one figure. So I might for sure be making some custom rope, bendable rope in the future for the batons. But other than that, this guy is sweet. Maybe like another head sculpt, but I mean, this one's fine, obviously, but maybe like an open mouth one. But yeah, man, this is my top figure of 2022 right here. Hands down now. He's super amazing. one of my favorite Marvel heroes of all time. So I'm glad to finally have him in my actual collection. And like I said earlier, I will be doing a full Avengers Marvel shelf display video in the future. So I will be adding this guy up there for sure. So stay tuned for that. I will be doing a whole group shot of my top 15. And yeah, so thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.